Hello there, I'm Neurobax, and welcome back to William Speedrun Season 5. So, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently, but don't worry, there will still be a normal summary where we skip out on quali, practice, and races. I'll be uploading those as normal, but I'll be trying to also upload alongside them the full experience, which means that we'll have the regular videos, but the races will be where they should be, so you can have a look at those. We might add in practice and quali in those as well. But in general, I'm just going to test this for this final season to see if it might be a better way of doing things for next season. But no matter what, I'm planning to still have a summarized video where we skip out on practice, we skip out on quali, skip out on races, but with an option to watch it in the playlist. And I'm also going to have upload alongside a video that has, again, the races and potentially more if people prefer. So that way you can find and select your preferred video. And honestly, it will not take too much editing to make this work. So I've had a couple of comments that my current setup is a bit confusing for those who like the races. So I'm thinking to do this to alleviate it. I'm going to test the concept out for this season, and we'll see if it's better or worse. Let me know. Feel free to comment if you think this is a great idea, a horrible idea, or, you know, if you are not worried at all. Now, with that said, we are going to start our season here. We have preseason done. We have a decent car. We are not going to get the underfloor for Bahrain. That's okay. And I just realized that I might be a little bit of an idiot, seeing that I set the performance targets for qualifying, but we're applying to, you know, backward grid. So with that said, let's get right into it with Bahrain. If you do enjoy this series so far, please like and subscribe, as it helps me out a lot. And thank you to everyone who's already done so. Let's go to Bahrain. We have just finished our race in Bahrain. As you can see, we finished first for Piastri. He made it up towards the end there. Overtook Verstappen on the final lap and managed to eke out a 3-second gap. Doohan got stuck in a pretty intense DRS train. I didn't micromanage him enough, and as a result he ended up getting stuck, never making it out really. And I'm guessing that we might actually have to start upgrading some overtaking stats now if you want to do well. Now the Red Bulls and the Ferraris did pretty well themselves. Mercedes are a little bit behind. Bottas did a good race, Magnussen did a good race, and generally there's nothing really more to say. Constructors, we are second place after the first race, as you can see, but Piastri won, so we'll have to see how the board feels about this. Now we are going to be losing a bit of money here, as you can see here. Doohan didn't have the best race, and we are going to be sacrificing a lot of points here on qualifying over the course of this season, so that's just how it is. Yeah, we lost 600,000 in performance guarantees there from qualifying position streak, finish position, reach Q3. Yeah. Didn't have both drivers one too. So I think we are going to just forego the extra money from performance guarantees this season as a result. But yeah, we paid for it. But it's gonna also be, again, an interesting season, I think. So yeah, let's get on with it. Rear wings have been manufactured, they're on the car. Wind tunnel needs to be refurbished. Let's get that done. I should have just done that a bit earlier though. But again, we have plenty of money, so we're good. The board is happy, according to this. Are they though? They don't like that we're currently second, but again, delighted. So they didn't like that cost cap break that gave us a 2,000 fine. But other than that, they are very happy. So let us continue here. We should be getting those underfloors, I think, for the next race, or maybe not, because the next race is pretty soon. Suspensions have been manufactured. We already have them on the car. We might have one underfloor, now that I think about it. So let us go have a look. Let's just set up performance targets first. Qualifying Q2, can't do any of those. Fastest lap, can do that. Qualifying position 3, we can't really do that either. Because, well, it will hurt us because we will not be qualifying high up. Now, underfloor, we have one, which we are actually going to install on Doohan's car. And just see how much of an effect that has, because as you can see from the stats here, it's going to help everything tremendously. 0.12 kph max speed, an extra 0.10 kph max speed under DRS, and a decent amount of cornering. So we're going to slap this on Doohan's car and see if he does better now during this race. We'll get Piastri his piece next race, and that should be good enough. So let's go off to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Just finished the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. He actually managed a, back of the field to first again since his car won. He'll always start 19th. Ewan had a spin, crashed out, spin, wall, hit Magnussen, got out. Not the best of situation, all things considered, but that's just how things are. In terms of results, we, win, get fastest lap. Ferraris had a good day. Gasly had a good day with Alpine. But Mercedes and Red Bull didn't have the best of days. Championship-wise, Piastri is still in first, maximum points. Constructors, Ferrari has overtaken us, but we're 2 points behind. And we are struggling due to basically DRS trains. We'll be focusing a bit more into overtaking. And that will be the goal here. Again, bad result here for Dune. But that's just how it is sometimes. Money-wise, we made a good amount too. So I can't complain. Now we are going to be starting to put some points here into overtaking. Try and get this up to about 80. Because I think that might help out. Again, Piastri's aggression is, not super high. So, well, he's going to need that extra overtaking skill most likely. Especially when we start from the back. Our strategy so far has been starting from the front. Gaining a pocket and just working our way through it. But I can't really do that right now. Now, the crash that Dune had was quite severe, causing damage to a large number of parts, if you will. He shredded 4 of his things terminally. He also shredded a gearbox. And, basically didn't have the best day he could. It was quite an expensive crash. Now, we can equip the underfloor now on both cars, which should help out a bit. And we have a design done here. Suspension design. Now, I don't think we have research open yet, which actually is true. But it seems like I might have to pull the suspension, the one that I'm working on here, because we have a new one. It's an upgrade, but it might be a slight upgrade, but it's an upgrade, so we're gonna develop them. And with that, we're gonna take the suspension one. This one. We're going to cancel the project. We will not get any money back, but we'll be able to open ourselves up to, making new suspensions. And that is the entire goal with that. So there we are. Going to make 4. We'll have 1 for the Australian Grand Prix. That's just how things are. Now, I'm wondering what we want to do with that slot. We are working on a front wing. We are working on a rear wing. And do we want to do side pod here? Try and get another one up and running. It'll be again a slight boost here, as you can see. But I'm thinking we might just do this because, again, we need to. And I actually have 10 available engineers, so I have a project here that I haven't started. I think. That's a bit of a worrisome thing to see. So I'm going to have a look here. Because clearly we have forgotten something. And we're also going to make an extra chassis here. So that should be okay. It's, again, small boost, but everything helps. So we're going to do this until we get... It's the Bahrain race. Yeah, I forgot to start a new design with the underfloor. Now I think about it, that's my bad. We wasted a week of development time. Not the worst wasting we've ever done, but just how things are sometimes. Now... which one of these design projects does not have all the 5 engineers? There we are. Now they're all balanced again, as all things should be. And let's just have a quick look in the warehouse to be totally safe here. Chassis are done, front wings are done, rear wings are okay, side pods are okay, underfloor is okay. It's the new suspension that we're working on. So what I had forgotten is probably the underfloor, as I was saying. That's the only thing I can, consider really. Now staff should have, again, points here. Now we have maximized underfloor. Very good. Next will be rear wing and front wing. We will probably keep them around the same probably. But it will be our priority. And other than that, we are okay. Now we are going to be starting to scouting some of the... going to hire some more scouts here. So it's going to cost a bit of money, as you can see, but I can live with that. And we're going to scout every new driver, because we're going to do a project later on, which will actually require us to know all of them. So, and detail scouting on as many as we can. And for the most part, I will try and keep this up video, but I'll just let you know, we're going to be doing a lot of scouting because I'm going to try and test something with driver stats later on. So, there we are. We're doing pretty well. Australian Grand Prix in 9 days. We have all the projects running now. And Dune has had a horrible start to the season. But that's mainly due to the challenge, I think. That spin was a bit unlucky, though, because he spun into another car. And that is what actually took him out of the race. Now, I know, that's why I'm manufacturing more of them. But thank you for the warning. I appreciate it. Dune has low morale. I am not too surprised there. He has high aggression and, well, high growth potential. He has okay morale, so not low. But I understand the concern. And of course, the gearbox could wreck down to 6%. Now here's the thing. We just finished his second race. Usually your pass will be around the 80% mark. At worst. His gearbox is 6%. His, we can actually have a look here. His engine went down to 50. ERS went down to 62. And gearbox down to 6. So he's going to need more. Because he, well, nothing really we can do there but get more. It's just how things are. Now we have the new regulation mode coming in. So I think we've made all the paths we're gonna this season. We're going to focusing on, again, research. Because we need to save money. Car development report, we're still first in everything but cooling. We actually lost out a little bit in cooling. But again, acceptable loss. Race prep, Australia. Let's see here. Is there anything we can do? Nothing. Q3. Finish position. Can gamble on this one. One drive in the top 2. I think that should be acceptable. Till we can do that reliably. And we will not be doing a qualifying position streak. Now, with that said, we are going to the races. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. Can we make Piastri go a full season, starting back to grid, and getting first place? It's going to be interesting. The Australian Grand Prix just finished. Piastri won, made it up to the top. Dune had another bad race where he, well, crashed out. Took another alpha with him. But, not really anything we can have done about that. It's going to become costly because he has just destroyed another gearbox. At this rate, he won't have any left. As a driver championship, Piastri is doing very well. Maximum points so far. 3 wins. 3 fastest laps. Very nice. We are in the lead here in the constructors. So potentially this is going to become a can Piastri win this season all by himself challenge. Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting here to look at. Red Bull overtakes. Red Bull did do 3. Pretty good. And yeah, it's going to be interesting towards the end. In terms of points, another bad one from Dune, sadly. It's getting too much. And we'll have to see here if we maybe end up giving Pocher a chance. We'll have to see. We made a little bit of money, as usual, but that's just how things are. Now, Dune doesn't actually have the worst overtaking stat. He has less than Piastri. So this is an interesting one to look at. As you can remember, the pace stats here, we have them. If we have a look at Piastri, he's only 64 overtaking. He's just flying up the field. So in terms of that, you could say that an average aggression will probably better than Dune here, who has, you know, high aggression. Because he has a higher overtaking stat, but he struggles far more to do overtakes. But he's lacking in the pace, braking, and reactions. So it could simply be due to that. So I'm thinking that we continue the cornering here. Or do we want to do a project here, try and get Dune up to 80? We could. Let's do that for Dune. We're gonna upgrade his overtaking. We're gonna try and get this up to 80, 90, somewhere like that level. But if he continues like this, it ain't gonna happen, sadly. We're gonna see how that works out. Now, we are gonna work here on accuracy and control here for Pocher. Might have to try and get him to do the overtaking build for us. But that should be okay. Now, regulation change, major Technical changes. Chassis focused overhaul. Eh. Okay, this is a major one. Okay. I think someone made a typo here because this seems to be just, you know, everything. This one, okay, so everything hurts a lot, but on the chassis side, it hurts a little bit more. This could make next season kind of interesting, in all honesty, just because it's gonna rock all the teams so hard. Let's vote for a suspension focused overhaul, and this is gonna be a lot of work, all things considered. What next? I think honestly, the next thing we do here is just continue on to the next race. So, start of the car research period is in 1 week. We're not going to do anything with this time slot. We're going to wait until next week. We could work on the car, but honestly, I don't think we need to. Boardroom will be refurbished. Is the norm when we need to. And we're also going to manufacture the front wings. We're going to make 6 of these. And I'm probably going to have to check exactly what Piastri... Sorry, not Piastri, Doohan broke. But I believe he deleted his chassis, mostly. I don't think there was any damage to anything else, if I remember correctly. So we should be good there. Yeah, chassis and suspension, but should be okay. We will manufacture a chassis, though. As I said, we might end up suffering a bit because we are starting in the back. There's more competition. When our drivers now lock off, they hit things. They don't hit the air anymore. Which could technically also have been why I felt so happy. I felt we haven't had any big changes here. So we're going to get right into the underfloor. We could wait for the ATR period before we do this, which I think we will, because the underfloor is just that important to us. As you can see, we're going to lose 40% expertise. That is nothing to scoff at, so this season could be interesting just because of that. And what did they actually vote for? I think I went a little bit quickly through my mail here. I just didn't read it. So it's the 50% for everything, but the side pods get a 70% one. But yeah, that's just how it is. So the engine is now gone. The ERS is gone too, so Doohan is going to have quite the expensive car there to put back together. Now, what I'm thinking is that we do a front wing project, get one of the long ones, standing ones going quickly. And once we get ATR period, we're going to do the underfloor, because getting this thing back up to snuff is going to be the most important focus. Now, since everything is losing something, we're going to focus on everything, but cooling. We could just focus everything here also to get cooling back up and running. So it's going to be what we want to do here, because this is actually going to make it so that we'll have to fight other teams again next season. Wow, I'm actually kind of sad now that 1.7 is coming out pretty soon. Because we will not be able to alleviate all the drops on every part, but neither will those around us. So we might have to focus on maintaining some parts and just sacrificing others. So yeah, definitely going to be interesting. Now, we are going to just do that for the front wing, just get everything going, because we are going to need it. But as you can see, it takes 2 months to get that done. So 2 months, we're in April. We won't have time to do more than 3 or 4 of these, and then we're locked into the big ones for all of it. So we'll have to consider here. We're going to do the next ATR period on the underfloor. It's just how things are. It's the most effective move that we have in Arsenal right now. That extreme change to the regulations. I haven't actually seen that before. Never had it, but that's a good one. Might actually be that it's coded for 2026, because that's when I believe the engine regulation is coming out in real life. But I'm a bit unsure actually. So it's a fun one, nonetheless. I like it. Wish that one hit a bit more often. But not too often. I guess 5 seasons in is a good point, really, to shake things up. Now, qualifying position Q3, not going to happen. Fastest lap could happen. Qualifying position streak, not going to happen. With that, I believe we're ready for the race before we... Again, I am tempted to just use Piastri has a control, if you will. We're not going to level overtaking on him, even though I already put 1 point in. We're going to get the control, and we're going to get the accuracy up, and then I'm thinking getting the smoothness up. And just see how those stats play into each other. So we're going to go control for Piastri. He clearly doesn't really need the extra overtaking. He still goes up forwards, so should still be okay. Now we're going to get off to the next Grand Prix, Emilia Romagna. Let's go. We have just finished the race with a disastrous result. Well, not really. Our first double podium this season, but once again, our drivers managed to crash. We had Piastri and Duhan clash. Piastri managed to pick up a penalty. I failed strategy. Like Ferrari, didn't watch the forecast, so I didn't actually realize it was going to rain. Which could have thrown away the race, all things considered, but I was a bit lucky and the AI went intermediate to wets instead of just straight wets, which we did. And just barely made the tires last, so that was good. Now, with this, we have now 3 races in a row where we had incidents, and I don't like it. Piastri also managed to somehow damage his underfloor. I don't know how. And the crash resulted in a damaged wing for Duhan and tire damage for both of them. So, not the best thing to have happened, but not the worst either. In terms of points for gain fastest lap, Duhan climbs the tables here with his victory. And in terms of constructors, we still have a lead. No changes here. Red Bull, Ferrari, the same. Alpine, McLaren didn't really have the impact. Alpha, again, also didn't have the impact, even though they have a good car. A bit disappointing. Not the best driver development either, as you can see, sadly. Nothing much we can do about that. I forgot Porsche. Took me into the 4th race this season before that happened. And we still made a decent amount of money, but it's starting to get expensive. These driver accidents, if you will. So we'll have to have a look into that. We're also going to have to check the warehouse here, how we're looking. All the new front wings because I forgot. Rear wings looking good. Tripods are good. Underfloor, I need to manufacture 1 more of these. Suspension is looking good. So yeah. Front wing, forgot to slap them on. That's not a big problem. We still had a good result. I think we just want to continue here. Get the next design up and running. Use the ATR period on the underfloor. So we can start fighting the changes here. Now, in terms of the chassis, let's have a quick look here. It's a small boost, but this one I feel is worth it. So let's manufacture 4 of them. We don't need to rush. And I also want to take the opportunity to start a new research project. We're gonna focus on research solely this season, I feel. 6 days for the ATR period though, which means that we're gonna do something else. We're gonna be splitting again. We're gonna focus everything because we kind of have to. The loss is that big. As you can see here, we can barely alleviate it with research. So this is gonna hurt a lot. We're probably not gonna hit that 80% mark I was hoping for. But that's just how things are. Let's get research going here for the suspension. Again, we put everything to the right, but cooling. And our research project, sorry, our scouting project is also coming along nicely. So I'll just queue some few new ones. There we are, scouting completed. Go ahead and continue. Boardroom has been refurbished, good to see. And the floor has been manufactured. And with that, we can continue. So now the new ATR period starts. As soon as whatever projects we're running now are done, we'll be starting a project for the underfloor, which is actually in 4 days, by the looks of this. So pretty soon, all things considered. There we are, we designed a new rear wing. We're going to manufacture it normally, because we don't need to rush it really. Let's get 4 of those on the docket. ATR period. Let's have a quick look at our stuff here. We have a point for aerodynamics that will go into low speed downforce, I think. And we actually have a point for our race engineer too, which brings Irvin up to 81. 96 out of 100. Diego has one as well, 95. And no more points to distribute. Good. Again, this is gonna hit quite hard, which is it's gonna suck. There's no better way to describe what's gonna happen with this with this new again, it's called regulation change. So we're gonna get 11% back here on airflow, 11% here basically too, but again we're losing 40%, gaining 10 11% back across the floor. It's really not good enough. We're still gonna suffer a lot, but nothing we can do about it really. And we're gonna focus mostly on the underfloor, the rear wing and the front wing. Try and keep them where they are, and then we can focus the rest. Now we have a race coming up here, and race for Miami. Car development report, we're still looking really good. Performance targets, we don't need anything qualifying. Finish position, one driver in the top 2 so far. Seems to be what we can do quite reliably. Qualifying position streak is just not going to happen because we don't qualify again. And in terms of car parts here, we have a chassis that's free to use. We're going to slap that on Duan's car. Front wings are good. Rear wings are not prepared yet, but as you can see, they're going to be quite a sizable boost, which will help us out. And other than that, I don't think I had anything else to put on the car. Nope, we are good. We're going to head off to Miami. The Miami Grand Prix has just been finished. We did a pretty good race. As you can see, 1-2, 20 seconds between our cars, 45 seconds down to third, so still pretty good. We had a couple of weird incidents where our cars slowed down. We also had both McLarens crash out. So it was quite an annoying race, all things considered. There were some weird things going on, like zigzag maneuver into a corner, allowing Leclerc by, slowing down, allowing Leclerc by, and a third case of letting Leclerc by. So not a fan of that one. But we did a good result there, so I can't really complain too much. In terms of drivers, Duan makes up to 5th, but there's a lot of changes due to, again, it's still being early in the season. Honorable mention goes to these 3 right here. Joe in 6th, Stroll in 7th, Albon in 8th, as well as Giovinazzi in 9th. So bit of a weird one, all things considered. Ferrari overtakes Red Bull, but they're still looking pretty good here. Development-wise too, a decent race for both of our drivers, and Porsche still did well. Now remember, since we're not doing qualifying, this is a pretty decent result, because this means an extra 164 points, 156 points, so it's still pretty good. And we completed the long-standing 5 race performance incentive, which gives an extra infusion of money, which is good. And we have now completed the side pods design. We are going to manufacture it, of course, but we're also going to go ahead now and switch it over to research, because next year it's going to hurt a lot. So let us go here, get the design going. Now I think we are going to just slap up a rear wing design. We need these as well. Sorry, not design, we wanted the research. My bad. Now we're on the correct one. So again, next season Kai, as you can see, it's going to hurt a lot. And we're just going to focus on everything. We'll alleviate everything as much as we can. We're not going to be able to alleviate, again, everything. But we'll do the best we can. Because we really don't have anything else we can do. We're kind of limited in that regard. Now the new rear wing is done. And I think we're going to have some other new things done too. Porsche, accuracy and control. I'm up to 83. And we're going to check the car right here. Let's see what we can do before Spain. Mobile room. Let's refurbish. Now with that, before we go to the race, we are going to put the car parts on in the warehouse. Side pods for one car. We're going to do Duan. And did we have something else? Extra chassis here. Let's go. Them have the same one. Front wing is good. Rear wing should be okay too now. And with that, we're now starting to get pretty decently back up there again. A lot of cornering, of course. Very nice to see. We have a decent top speed, which should potentially make it easier to overtake. We'll have to see. But it looks like we're good here. The only thing we're lacking now is that side pod for our other car. No qualifying. Fastest lap, we can guarantee that one. Qualifying position streak, we do not want to play with that one. Just bad luck. And I think we're ready to go to the next race in Spain. Spanish Grand Prix has ended, and with it we managed to get a 1-2 with 30 seconds down to third, starting from the back of the grid. Pretty good session altogether. There was some safety car shenanigans that I could not completely understand, but yeah, good result. Alpine managing 5th, good for them. But yeah, currently the order is a little bit jumbled. One Mercedes, one Ferrari, one Alpine, the Red Bull, the McLaren, the Alpha. So almost every team here is scoring point except for Aston Martin and Haas. So bit of an awkward one. There's a driver championship here. Dewey now makes his way up to third. Leclerc's down into fourth. But in general, there's still going to be a lot of changes here. We don't have a stable point gains yet, so it's going to be a bit weird to watch. We did manage to, well, we have managed to eke out a pretty big gap here. And I assume that gap is only going to get bigger because there's so many competitors on the other positions. Let us continue. A very good race in terms of development for both our drivers. And as you can see, decent amount of money to 5.2 million total. 300,000 then made from performance. Wind tunnel has been refurbished, which is good to watch. And you guys actually have 2 points, so I might have forgotten something here. But we're going to just go accuracy and control. But, as you can see from that last race, even with, you know, 87 control, he had 3 lockups. So, I assume this stat also helps with making it so that the lockup doesn't turn into a crash, maybe. So, that is good. Now, in terms of smoothness, because we're starting at the back of the grid now, this would actually benefit us a bit. Because that means we can push the tires harder. Currently at the front of the grid, we have no problems doing even 4 pit stops because we have so much free air to gain time on the rest. But from the back, it's a bit more challenging. Let's do cornering and braking here. Get doing up to speed. And push air. No points yet. Internal refurbishment completed. Piastri development. We already sorted that. Congratulations for the Spanish Grand Prix. And we have now Monaco in just a few days. I'm going to run it a bit more, you know, automatic than we did last time. And we'll have to see if our drivers can, you know, put in a good performance here. Suspension research has been completed. Again, we're just going to do it mainly focus everything really. But probably a little bit more on the side pods here because we're going to lose 42. We're going to have 20% expertise or even less. Yeah, we're losing 50% in drag reduction. So getting the side pods up to speed is probably going to be a bit important. So we're going to sacrifice engine cooling. And we're going to just have to try and get it back later. There's no other way to really look at it other than that. Now, even if we do this, you can see the gain is minimal for next season car. So we're going to have to do this. It's just no real other way. Let us continue. Refurbishment complete. Memorabilia. Good. Race preview Monaco. Again, Monaco is going to get interesting. It's probably the one we don't have a good chance of winning. Well, least chance of winning. But we'll do our best. Nothing for qualifying. Fastest lap should be doable. Qualifying position streak is probably not doable. So we'll not be doing that one. I think we're ready. Let's go to Monaco. We have just finished the Monaco Grand Prix. We managed to get ourselves a 1-2. And mainly, well, a good reason for that is that after 5 laps, we had rain. We pitted early. We managed to catch up to the back of the pack. And as a result, on the first pit stop, we jumped almost 10 places each. And the following lap, the more people needed to pit, which resulted in Piastri getting up to the podium places in less than 10 laps from the back of the grid. Ewan had to work a little bit more for it because we double stacked and he was the second one in the stack. He was, I believe, 8 after both set of pit stops. So, bit of a shame, but as you can see, we pitted twice. It's due to us running the tires on aggressive or attack. And we had a lucky safety car, which allowed us to pit and not lose track position for neither of our drivers. In terms of championship, things are looking good. Ewan is almost caught up to Verstappen here. Only gained 3 points though last race due to Verstappen finishing third. Ferraris are 4-5. We have Mercedes 6-7. Gasly is doing really well, 8, and we have Norris in 9. So it's going to be interesting for sure. Constructors, no real change, but still close between these two. Mercedes has had a bad race here, so they're kind of lagging behind a little bit, but I think they'll catch up later on. And in general here, as I said, Gasly, Perez had good results for their teams here. In terms of, as you can see, gain, I didn't gain a lot because, as you can see here, Piastri made it to the front with only 4 overtakes from 19th. So that should tell you all you need to know there. Doohan had to work a little bit more for it, 6 overtakes, but you know, I'm still happy. It's still a good result. We lost some money here due to we couldn't get fastest lap because of the rain. Well, it's not because of the rain, it's because we were stuck behind other cars. And, well, not much I can do about that. Just a hit we're going to have to, you know, take. I could have checked the forecast, but I didn't, so it's on me. Now, the next one is Baku, which shouldn't be a problem, really. We finished on this next set of scouting. Again, I'm scouting the top drives here to see how things are going. Just going to quickly set up a new scout setup, and then I'll be back. There we go. I've started scouting of the next 5 on the list, and I'm basically scouting the top drivers because we're going to try and test out just how much do the drivers that has to say for the pace during qualifying and maybe during race. But again, it's just test driver stats. I want to see just how much of an effect they might have. Manufactured side pods. We will probably have a new part then to put on our car for this next race. Car development report. We are car 1 performance in 2nd. I believe that is due to us putting a piece on Doohan's car that we did not on Piastri's, which is okay. That is just how it is. The board is looking favorable on our shenanigans. I think a real life board would be very happy of us qualifying. Well, not doing qualifying on purpose. I think I'd be in trouble pretty quickly. Finish position, 1 driver, top 2. Could be doable. Now, we've had a couple of races here where we've done 1-2s, but I don't want to take that risk, really. We have a lot of money, so I probably should, but I'm still okay with not taking it, mainly because we have that much money. So we have everything installed for both cars, except for the side pod, I believe, which is a small boost, but a boost nonetheless. Underflow's looking good, suspension looks good, and again, we aren't going to make any more parts this season. We're just going to go purely into research and see if we can alleviate the hit from the regulations. But yeah, with that, I think we're off to Baku. I don't think there's anything else to mention, really. We have just finished our race in Baku. We did a pretty calm, collected, clean 1-2 from the back of the grid. We had Russell crash himself out, Ocon in 17th. Verstappen had an accident, putting him down to 14th. And, well, Alpine did well, McLaren did well, Ferrari did well, and Norris did okay for Red Bull with a 4th. Well, he actually did well, all things considered. As a Drivers' Championship, Doohan is now up in 2nd, where, you know, one of our drivers belong. I don't know if this is necessarily the order, seeing that both of them have championship. But Piastri so far has been the dominant one this season. Verstappen 3rd, Sainz catching up a bit. Gasly climbs the ranks. He should be 5th, as I said, because he's been finishing a lot of his races 5th, even has a podium. Norris is starting to get a little bit into it in Red Bull. Good. But, yeah, I feel like the scoreboard here is going to be very weird at the end of the season at this rate. First development, didn't get too much because our drivers don't constantly overtake each other and we don't do qualifying. But it's still good enough. Money-wise, we still get an extra about 300,000 sometimes. So still, 5 million a race is not, it's not nothing, but we just don't really have anything to spend the money on. For Piastri, point in accuracy and control, we're going to get these up, and then I think we're going to do smoothness. The reason why we're not doing racecraft is very, very simple. In terms of overtaking, you assume a high aggression would, you know, give better chance of overtaking, but it seems average is better. Because Doohan, with the same car, with better overtaking stats and high aggression, isn't actually capable of overtaking the people in front of him as efficiently as Piastri does, which is concerning. So it could also just be that Piastri has better pace stats, better consistency, And as a result, he might do better, but that's just how things are. Now, we will have to renew their contracts, so we could probably do that. We have a lot of money on hand here, but we'll wait like another month or so, I think. Get it done over summer break, maybe. Fuel center is in poor condition. We're just gonna refurbish it because I'm lazy. Therapy chair has points. Put them into control. And I'm thinking we're gonna get these to 85 maybe, and then we'll do the pace to 97. Again, it's just how I prefer to do things. But it could also be interesting here to try and put per chair in, you know, a race seat. Create out one of our drivers, but honestly, I don't see a need. But it would be, again, nice to do that. Let him level up a little bit more, see if we can maximize him. Azerbaijan Grand Prix, staff is happy, board is happy, which is what we like to hear. Front wing research has been completed. And we're probably just going to do another one for the front wing. Because, again, we prioritize underfloor, then the wings, and then the rest of the car. So, let's see here. Can we make the loss a bit less painful here? Let's see. This gives us about 5% gain. Same here, because again, this goes up to 2. We're gaining 0.10. Here to 5% here as well. Brake cooling. Again, we're going to sacrifice cooling, sadly. It's going to be how things are. And, yeah. We're still not going to be able to get probably half of what we lose here, but just how things are. Next season is going to be a bit interesting for sure. Actually, I'm motivated to play that season more than most seasons at this point. But again, no qualifying, finish position. Should have one driver in top 2. We're just going to stick with that. We could go for both, but I'm happy going for one. Let's go to Canada and see how we do there. With the Canadian race done, things are looking good. Piastri once again got, well, one. Sadly, we didn't get fastest lap. It was stolen by Ocon. Doing in 5th here. We tried a 1-stopper. It didn't really work out for us, honestly. We should probably just do aggressive 2-stoppers where we can. Because we can get past cars, so we can make up time, but we get stuck behind someone. It's kind of difficult in the DRS train. We also punished Gasly a bit, pulled them down to 6, sadly, but yeah, good race from the Red Bulls, from Ferrari. McLaren, the Mercedes, had a mare, 13th and 15th, due to crash and spin for Russell. Stroll had an accident, lap 28 and was out, so not much you could do about that. Drivers' Championship, we still won 2. Constructors, no real changes. Lando goes up ahead of Gasly. But yeah, no big changes in the Constructors. And development-wise, we're not getting too many points. 5 million payout, good to see. We'll bring that with us home. So we have 11 days for the British Grand Prix. See what we can do in that time. Field Center has been finished, good to see. Congratulations from the board. And we have a new aerodynamic testing period, which I think we'll also put in the underfloor. And we also have some scouting done here, as you can see. Vettel is a free agent. I'll be surprised Aston didn't get him. Ricciardo, 6 months left. Gasly, 2.5 year left. Bottas is almost out of a contract. Ocon basically the same. But yeah, I'm scouting these. The reason why I'm scouting these drivers is very simple. We're going to hopefully make a quick guide on just how important certain stats are. Oh, well, not how important they are. How much of an effect they have. Because I'm a bit curious myself. We are scouting everyone. Well, we are going to be trying to scout everyone on this list, hopefully. And do a test before the last race of the season. So we'll see how far we get. If not, we can't get all of them. We'll pick some of them at random. But we should be able to pull that off. Let's go to the next race weekend here. In the British Grand Prix. Silverstone. Let's have a quick look at what we can get as a performance target. Finish position, 1 driver, top 2. Finish position streak is what we're going to continue. No big concerns there. Let's go to Silverstone. Silverstone has just finished, as you can see. Piastri in first place, Joan in third. Almost managed to catch up to Russell here towards the end in an aggressive two-stopper, but we were sadly a little bit too slow there. Fuel was a problem this race, sadly, and that is basically why. Good result for Red Bull, 4th. Better result for Mercedes, 2nd. Gasly's back in 5th. 6th for Ocon. And the Ferraris had a pretty bad day. McLaren got 7th, which I think they'll be happy with. In terms of Drivers' Championship, we have Sainz now up into 3rd. And Norris up into 5th. So, some changes there. No changes for the constructors, as you can see. And with that, let's continue. Not too many development points this race, because, well, we didn't have too much happening. Piastri got up ahead, 14 overtakes. 34 here for, as you can see, Duan. Did really well. And, yeah, a good race. We finished our set incentive of 5 races, which gives us a bunch of extra money. About 1.8 million total. We can be happy with that. Sorry about that, my voice has been kind of off the last couple of days, so that's also why this video is late. Side pods have been researched, as you can see. And I think what's next on docket is a chassis upgrade, maybe. Piastri's contract ends soon. Duan's contract ends soon. We're gonna fix this, I think, in the next part, because I want to get this one done. Let us put points into the rear wing here for Vaca. He has 2 points to spare. And Aerodynamics also has points to spare. Go medium downforce. Engineers do not have points, sadly, to spare. And as said, we have the side pod research complete. And I think we're going to do a chassis. We're going to try and balance the other 3 here. It's just how things are going to have to be, really. But then again, the gain is, in terms of percentage points from chassis, isn't that high. So we'll have to consider if we might focus side pods and suspension instead, but now let's get a chassis research going. And congratulations for the British Grand Prix. Good. Let's continue here. Our rear wing, very nice. Board confidence check-in. They have high confidence in our leadership, which is good to hear. And in terms of the financial report, I know that we have 150 million almost in extra money, so I think we're good there. Cost cap could be a concern here with the research, so considering new parts, considering research, it could become a crutch, but I think we'll be okay. Rear wing research has been completed. Okay, very good. With that, we're going to start a new one. But I need to consider, is it worth it to put in our aerodynamic hours into the rear wing at this point to alleviate some of the pain? Or would it be better if we put it into, say, the underfloor? What will benefit us more? So, this will give us 9 percentage points. 10% here. And 9 here, 9 here. It would be a pretty big gain back, so I'm thinking we'll do this. We'll do it a bit balanced. Oh, we have another ATR period coming up, don't we? Probably 2 more? 3 more? Yeah, 3 more basically. Well, 2 more. How are we looking on the current underfloor project? 19 days. I think we're going to do the research project for the rear wing normally. And we're going to do 1 more for the underfloor with... That's the thing, I don't know what is most efficient here. Honestly, I think we're going to put 1 here into the underfloor this time. Gain a bigger boost. And we're going to do the same for... Sorry, the rear wing. Put the ATR into the rear wing. And we're going to do the same for front wing maybe. And then underfloor again. I'll have to consider it though, that's the thing. We'll have to see what is most effective and what we can afford. Because next season could be a wild card if we do things poorly here. Car development report. We're doing well. We're 18th in cooling. Does that mean that someone has done some shenanigans? I think so. But yeah, we're going ahead to the last race of this part. We're going to get Austria done. I'll get a report on how the race went. Then I'll get to editing. So again, apologies for this part being late. It's just how things turn out this time. Also due to the fact that my boys decided to take a short break. But let's go to Austria and we'll see how it goes. Austrian Grand Prix just finished. We had a 1-2. We were a little bit luckier because Ewan was in a train with the, you know, the 4 cars coming 3rd to 6th. And due to a back marker, was able to get away. So he was lucky in that regard. But good race from us, good race for Mercedes. Ferrari had an okay session. Red Bull had a good one in Verstappen, a bad one in Norris. And Alpine managed to get both the cars in the points. So yeah, a good race. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, both Leclerc and Gasly go up now, thanks to Norris not scoring any points. And Constructors, no change. Now in terms of development, decent race, no points sadly. But we'll have to see what we do with push shaft, because currently drivers are doing what I want them to. But I might give him a chance next season. I'm still a bit uncertain about that. But we'll continue this next time. Because, well, my boss is going for 1. But we're done with the first half of the season. It's gone pretty well, all things considered. We're currently first with more than twice the points of second. But the fight between second and third there is actually fairly close, just 6 points. And we are, again, halfway through the season. As has even scored points, Alpha, Aston has scored points, Alpha Tauri, only 4 points between those 3. So, could be interesting, but Alpine and McLaren basically have stated where they want to be. I'm a bit disappointed in Alpha, because I thought they could do better. But it's just how things are. Now, as I've said earlier, in the start of this video, I'm going to do it a bit differently. I'm going to be making this summer video, as I usually have. But I'll be trying to make a video on the side, with the races included. It'll be in more parts, of course, because they're longer. But I'll be trying to release them, basically, if not simultaneously, one before the other, something like that, whenever I've done editing them. But you can pick, if you want to watch the races in order, with the rest of the commentary, you can. If you want to watch just the summary videos, basically, where we skip out on the races, just report results, then I'll continue making them as well, but I'm just testing a different format, because there's a couple of people who say that having races in their own playlist is a bit annoying, and I understand that, so that's why I'm going to be sticking to the format that I've been doing so far, with these videos where practice, qualification, and races are excluded. But I'm going to be making another one where I put the races in, and you can watch whichever you feel you want. In terms of the races themselves, they're going to be unlisted, which means you can't really search them up, but there's going to be a link to the playlist in the video below. So if you want to watch the races at your own pace, you can, but I don't want to flood everyone's timelines with, you know, 5 videos of the season at once and then another 11 about the races. So I'm trying to be considerate while also giving people what they want, hopefully. If you have any suggestions to how we can make this better, please let me know. I'm open to suggestions. If I feel it's a good one, I'll take it to heart. But this is the end of the first half of the season. It's gone fairly well. I've had a lot of fun. And as someone also pointed out, I do say a lot that this will probably be the last season. But it's always something that are getting me back in, which is kind of why I like this game so much. Now, there's still not any news on when 1.7 releases, so we're definitely going to do this season with Williams. But we might also do the next one, due to the huge changes to the regulations. So we'll consider it at least. Now, I would just like to thank you all for watching. It's great to see so many enjoying this video. Well, these videos, if you will. And again, thank you for watching. I would also like to ask you to like and subscribe, as it helps me out a ton. And I hope you have enjoyed. See you next time. Bye bye.